Hi, I'm Bran, and I love Hallmark murder mystery movies.
Hi, I'm Brian, and I like Hallmark movies and mysteries.
I'm Dan, and I despise Mystery 101 murder, Frankie Quinn murder mystery movies, and this is the Deck the Hallmark podcast.
Deck the Hallmark, it's his podcast.
Brandon and friends host this podcast.
We hope you like this jolly podcast.
Hello.
Oh, man.
Wow.
Boy. Hey, Bran, you know, in Bramble Jam Plus, in the chat, Facebook chat, you can watch this live. Like all of our videos,
They
we
can?
do live. For all the edits, you know,
This is live?
Brian's got quite a swear mouth on him, and so we have to edit a lot.
Classic
and if you
swear
were
mouth.
live, you could see it live. Beth says her kids are getting in the car in 10 minutes, so we need to talk at 2 times speed. Do we
Double
have
speed?
that in the
Not a problem.
Not a problem? Great. Brandon's good to see you.
I was going to see you two. Everybody doing well?
Doing great. Had a great weekend.
I don't know if you're talking too fast or you're just ready.
You don't know what to do. Everybody's doing.
What do we do this episode?
That was it?
Mystery 101? JCP. No, not JCP. It's just a big JCP.
60 leaves.
Tomato Phil.
They don't.
Turn it off.
Good. Thank you.
Thanks, Trace.
Man,
We're good at that. That's actually one of our best things.
our Beth
Beth
thing.
thing. It is a Beth thing.
Better than talking. Yeah, it is a Beth thing.
It's just it's a spirit thing, you know?
It's just a holy nudge. It's like a circuit judge to the brain.
I'm so excited to be here on a Friday.
Oh, boy, aren't we all, Bran?
I am.
Do you know what tomorrow is?
Saturday,
Day after Friday.
Okay, keep going.
October 1st.
Nailed it.
This is the last day of September, boys.
That's right. And that
I
means
thought it would be good for us to take a moment. We don't get to do this all the time, but to take a moment and just reflect on all of the good times, bad times, and everything in between that happened.
I remember the stupid things, the mood rings,
Yeah.
the bracelets and the beads. Go ahead.
Do you guys want to do that now? You
I mean, we
wanna do
could
I
if
have
you want.
time.
Typically, we do it in the mornings, like we all sit in a circle, you know.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you want to do it on the air,
Reflection time.
Reflection time.
Guys, remember that time we talked at double speed this month?
oh man, that was fun. Brian really being in the studio has really changed things for me.
It's changed things.
It's changed things for me, too.
I'm just looking for reasons to leave now.
You aren't here a lot. I thought you'd be here more.
You'd be here more.
I moved all the way down here, and you guys are never
all
here.
The way down here.
It's like you don't want to be around me.
I mean, sooner or later, we're going to have to invite him to lunch.
Bad, dare to dream.
That was a good one.
That was a good one. You know what October is, now that that's out of the way?
What?
One of the worst bits we've ever done, is Marathon Month.
Woo!
October 22nd.
Woo!
All day, all night long. We're going to be
Day-night
here.
water fight.
It's a day-night water fight. We're going to be doing the marathon live. Me,
Do it live.
Bran, Brian, Alonzo, Jax. You never know who else may stop by.
Wow.
We've got a lot in store for you. Maybe even a fun location change. Maybe a location change. We're not going to announce that just yet.
Maybe
But in the
even
works, possible.
Santa Claus.
What?
Santa Claus.
Maybe even angels.
We go to the North Pole?
Demons.
Angels and demons.
Wait a second.
There are going to be demons at
Maybe
the
even Sarah
It's Thanksgiving
Michelle
weekend.
Gellar's
That's not
hairdresser.
Halloween
Sarah
weekend.
Michelle Gellar's hairdresser.
Maybe even pumpkin spice
I sure hope so.
Oh my! Are you done?
lattes
That's
brought out by Sarah Michelle Gellar's hairstyle.
that's a Derek maybe even guy. He is the worst when he gets on. He just always maybe evens
Maybe
everything.
even a couple of you-know-who's and you-who's.
What?
A couple of yoo-hoos?
Yes.
Derek, that's enough.
Maybe even your dad's cousin's stepmom.
Not your dad's cousin's stepmom.
Okay, thank you, Derek.
Maybe even everyone with just no sleeves.
Everyone but just no sleeves.
Just no sleeves. Maybe even Lars McGowan's.
Lars McGowan's there.
McGowan.
Forget it.
Maybe,
Derek, just cut. Trace, if you could just cut Derek's line off.
one more.
Just cut it off.
Maybe,
Just let him finish.
maybe even
You guys know that one time that there was that riot at the baseball game about disco?
Yeah.
Maybe that.
All right, thank you. Derek, our resident maybe even guy, which we never allow. I don't know how he got through.
It's the marathon.
It's
Special
the marathon.
occasion.
It's
A
the
lot of
marathon.
maybe evens.
Maybe even. Guys, we're talking about Francesca?
Francesca Quinn.
Francesca Quinn. P.I. Private Investigator.
Itinerary.
I
It's
thought
an
it was
itinerary, but you don't
pie.
get to know it.
Yeah, it's mine. It originally aired on September 25th, 2022, and it went a little something like this. The movie starts off with real, intense narration and murder boards. It's getting me all stressed out. The voiceover explains that in their town, there's been a ton of random, unexplained deaths that don't seem connected. But once someone goes missing, the police start thinking. They start connecting the dots. We find out that the narrator is Francesca Quinn.
Frankie, as she's called.
That's exactly right. Frankie is a cop, a police pal, as I like to call him. She works with her dad.
Please don't call him police.
Police pals?
No.
It's just something I'm trying to coin.
No,
No? Police pups.
Yeah, that works.
better.
Thanks, Hallmark Daddy.
No.
So she works with her dad, who's the chief, and people she's known her whole life are also on the
Pup Force.
pup force. That's
At
right.
this rate, we're going to be here a half an hour in the synopsis.
Well, it wouldn't have done this if you.
He's shutting down all his
it
good
wouldn't
ideas.
have happened to hit that.
So Frankie is working on connecting the dots, and she lands on the most logical person, her stepmom, Megan.
Terrell Rothman.
Megan Quinn. She's the killer. She's been killing people all over the place. Megan says that the person who should be behind bars is Frankie and her secret boyfriend, Win.
Win. Now.
Win. Now. Who?
Win.
Who's on first?
Now.
Win?
Now.
Why?
Who?
How?
Where?
Win.
Now.
Who?
When?
How?
Now.
Right.
Brown cow.
Who?
Win.
Right now.
Now. Yeah.
With Frankie.
And win.
When?
What now?
Who?
Now?
Win.
Maybe even some good comedy bits.
So, cut to 1 year later, Frankie married, or she's engaged, I'm sorry, to who used to be her high school boyfriend, Carl. And she's at his birthday party. She doesn't seem happy. She leaves early, goes home to her barn, and looks out on the barn land. And when she comes back later, she finds Carl, and he's dead. Guess who's on the case? Her old secret boyfriend, Win.
Who?
How?
Where?
Win. No,
Now?
Win.
Who?
Win.
Now?
Right now.
But who is it?
Win is.
How?
Win is what?
Who? Maybe even.
So, a fella named Win is on the case.
A fella named Win.
Yeah.
When are we going to learn that?
Win now.
Now.
Now is Win.
Now is when what?
Win. Frankie, as everyone calls her, is no longer working for the police. She's a pie. Frankie explains to the police
3.1
that
phone.
she did leave the party early because her and Carl got in a fight about his new book. She feels like it's too autobiographical. A week later, Carl's sister calls Frankie and hires her to investigate the case. Some people, including me and Win, believe that she might be too close to this case.
To really work it. Yeah.
So she's having to work closely with Win,
Who?
and it's It's not going well. We find out that they broke up because he didn't trust her when Carl moved back into town. So things are not great between Frankie and a guy named Wynn. But when he arrests someone who broke into her hotel room, she's like, oh, okay, you are cool. So, there are a few characters at play here that may be responsible for the death of Carl. One is a friend of Carl's who is also writing a murder mystery. One is his agent. Another is Carl's ex, I believe, who is very rich. There is also someone connected through Frankie's stepmom, Megan, who's the killer from the beginning. One night, Frankie explains that she never stopped loving Wynn. Tonight.
Who?
So
she never stopped loving?
When?
Tonight. She never has.
Who?
Frankie and Wynn.
Frankie and Wynn.
Now?
She stopped loving?
Yes. She didn't stop.
Didn't stop. When?
Won't stop.
And he's like, well, listen, let me tell you this one. Are you ready? The whole reason I got upset is because I started getting these letters from Carl saying like, hey, move out of the way, buckaroo.
Move, Wynn. Get out the way.
And so she says, let me take a gander at those. And she's like, that is not Carl's handwriting. What?
Oh, no.
So the next day, Wynn gets arrested. Today. The next day.
The next day
is when Wynn gets arrested.
The next day is when
the next day is when Wynn gets arrested.
Win-win. It's a win-win. It's a win-win scenario.
Can't lose.
They find the murder weapon in his house and other evidence, etc. He's being framed. So now they're like, what's going on here? And so through some detective work, legal jargon, they narrow things down to a girl named Sarah, plain and tall. So
wow.
Sarah, who is Sarah aside from just like the barista?
Sally.
Sally.
I was about to say Sarah.
Who is Sally aside from being just a barista?
Who?
Sally.
When?
Sally did it, boys and girls. Sally did it. We find out that Sally did it. She did a whole thing. Sally did it. And our guy, Wynn, and Frankie in the movie with some hugging.
But Sally did it because her
mom is Megan, and she was like, oh, gosh.
Her mom is Frankie's stepmom and was doing it because of that connection.
Yeah, whatever.
That's the whole thing.
Sally did it.
Okay,
No,
that's the whole thing.
Sally did it, though. It doesn't matter why she did it. She did it.
Does.
Why does it matter?
Because she was an accomplice of Tara Rothery, and Tara Rothery just now found out she had a biological daughter, and she's very upset that Sally's going to go to jail at all, and that's how they get back at her.
Right, but why does it matter when it comes
that
to
is the entire crux of why the case.
The whole linchpin.
Sure, I understand it matters as to why she did it, but it doesn't matter for the synopsis, because what really matters is the fact that the movie ends with Frankie and Wynn hugging.
Who?
Wynn. And that, my friends, was
Francesca
Quinn, P.I.
We did it.
I think that was one of my best.
It was one of them.
It was fun.
Maybe even one of your worst.
Maybe.
Win. We're going to be right back here on Dead Tom.
Win.
In a bit. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Welcome back.
Remember when Friday episodes were just silly, signed, sealed, delivered nonsense?
Don't
old days.
Just, I mean, you know.
I miss those old days.
We really cleaned it
like
up.
the Hallmark.
That's right.
We've tightened these.
It's very tight now with these mysteries.
Boys, let's break this movie down. Let's start with the hot take. Brian, I can feel it from over here. You're like a fireplace on a cold, crisp autumn evening.
That's a great compliment. Thank you.
Let's see what embers you wave today. What do you think about this movie?
So I did not follow the Mystery 101 series.
Okay.
I know how it ended. I got filled in a little bit from my boys here about the connection, maybe some overlap or intertwination, right? I think is the word.
We'll give it to you.
I'll allow it.
Intertwination.
Between
I did see them live.
Yeah.
It was wild.
Yeah.
It was kind of messy, though.
Yeah, it was.
But very intricate.
Yes, you could say. It's one way to put it. So so my perspective is coming from almost a clean slate, not having the memories of the other mystery series that may have aired. So I love narration. Like if a movie starts or a TV show starts with and continues with narration, like they got me. They just
All it has to do is have narration.
Narration is the greatest thing to me.
Narration is the greatest thing to you?
I love it. I don't know what it's because I grew up on the Wonder Years.
Wonder Years.
Yep. And I've never looked back.
What would you do if
Taking
I
me right back.
played out of tune?
I'm sorry. I know this is very nostalgic. What? So was that Derek, the Maybe Even guy?
Maybe even Wonder Years.
Yeah, now we're
on
talking.
a loop.
Now we're
No, I
talking.
can't. That can't happen at the marathon because the marathon has to be
licensing.
the Hallmark
I'll
movies.
tell you.
Okay. All right. Got it. So
And
all it has to
you're
do,
here.
all it has to do is have narration. That's it.
To start. If it starts with narration, I am all in.
Man.
All in. I love narration.
So this movie, this is a home run.
Yeah, they got me right off the bat. So I did like this. It was very complex. It was not a straight, a cut and dry killer or person. You know, it was an intertwined story. The intertwination was very intricate as part of this story. It wasn't one person making the decision to murder somebody. The mother was involved. It was kind
Pulling
of
strings, a couple accomplices.
conspiracy going
Yeah, a lot going on. Yeah.
So I really like that it wasn't just, oh, this person did it, arrest them, do the perp walk, and we're done. So I liked it. I hope they do more of this. And I really liked the shoot, like the camera shots, like the overhead shots. The directing felt good. It moved. I don't know. It felt good. I liked it. I had a good time.
Yeah.
Minus the murder.
Minus
You're,
the murder.
you're out on
Anti-murder.
murder. Yeah. Of course. Just want to be clear. We are out on murder.
Yeah.
It's a no for us.
It's good to see Mallory back.
Mallory
back in
Jansen,
action.
that's right. Isn't she
Our-
gonna have
our Aussie friend?
Isn't she going to have a Christmas movie again?
I think so. I hope so.
Yeah.
And you know what? As somebody who is a lover of Mystery 101, a lot of the chatter about this movie was this is just Mystery 101, the movie that was written that never got made, just with a different title and new characters. And those people would most likely be correct.
Yeah.
And so part of what makes this one a little bit tough because like John Christian Plummer, fantastic. Like he writes, it's the best. Like this is like the best of the Hallmark mysteries. He's behind. It feels like a Mystery 101. It feels like John Christian Plummer. It feels great. I think part of the trickiness here is that it jumped into this in a way where I didn't. Like I really liked the two leads, but I would have almost rather not had that 1 year jump. Like. I know why they did it, but I think I would have rather spend some time with those characters first.
They did it because they were too lazy to rewrite the script.
Sure. And so I would have liked that personally, because it took, once the 1 year happened, it took a little bit of time for them to be back together, solving crime again. And so because of that, it wasn't my favorite mystery that I've seen, but it's still like he's so good at these. And I thought that there's always a lot of characters at play and there's a lot of moving parts. And so this is not fold your laundry, don't pay attention television like standard Hallmark Channel typically is. And so as long as you go into that knowing that, you'll be in good shape. I thought it was good.
Well, Brian needs to thank the fact that his Mystery 101 no longer is happening for the fact that you got narration, because they didn't even, it was so disappointing that they didn't even try to make it its own thing. Like they literally did as little work as they possibly could to hide the fact that this was the Mystery 101 script that never got made. Like clearly that's what's going on here. There's so many specific details that are the exact same. So that was disappointing. I love Mallory Jansen. Yeah. The murder is very intricate. These characters just made me wish I was still watching Travis and Amy, or Travis and Amy. But also, this mystery movie was plagued by the thing that I don't like about most of them, which is about halfway through, it's just people talking through the plot, and it's so hard to lock in and pay attention, because not that it's like complex. It's just convoluted. It's just like you're just trying to like give you red herrings after red herrings. The murder sequence is shot really cool though. Like the picture of the knife with the victim in the background. Like they're doing some stuff they normally don't do on Hallmark. So for that reason,
it was a really well shot movie.
It was better than average for the mysteries. But yeah, I just wished it was actually Mystery 101, which now seems like will never ever happen. Yeah.
Can we talk really quickly? Like if this was Mystery, this is unfair to do, but I'm going to do it anyways. If this was Mystery 101, Dan, I'll ask you this question. What are your thoughts on the reasoning for the breakup?
It was a pretty adult way to handle the breakup, in my opinion. I don't like, there wasn't a good one. And when they finally reveal in this movie that the reason they broke up was he was getting notes from this high school sweetheart that said, you need to back off. And then he sees them together and then he doesn't think he can trust her anymore. I mean, that's not good, but I don't know of a better one. With keeping both characters' integrity intact, that was the best possible one that I could think of. I could see a character whose boyfriend dumps her falling back in love on a rebound with her high school sweetheart because it was comfortable, it makes sense. So I didn't have a hard time buying that. Like the fact that all of a sudden he just can't trust her and he doesn't tell her about the notes. Okay, a little bit of a stretch, but as far as breakups go in the Hallmark world, this was better than average in my opinion. Maybe I'm in the minority on that.
I don't know. I don't know if
what
you
did you think?
I thought it was okay. I don't know. It's tough when you spend 4 or 5 movies,
more than that, I think 6.
developing a relationship. Like they've spent a lot of time working up to where they are now, and so for all of that to kind of get thrown out the window just because of old boy, like that. The fact that there were letters being sent from the ex-boyfriends originally, ended up not being that, but gives it a little bit in my mind. Like we're just like, okay, I guess I could see it, but they had spent a ton of time developing trust.
That's right.
So for trust to be the thing that ultimately ended up being the reason they broke up, I don't know. It was not a relationship they just jumped into after one movie.
Correct.
This was years and
years.
There
are 7 Mystery 101 movies. 7. So this is the only series we watched all of.
I love that one. I love that one. Hey, let's do all the feels.
Okay.
Bri Guy?
Yeah. I would say that Minneapolis has never looked better. And that was my feels. Every time they showed
come on.
Minnesota looked so good.
Minneapolis had never looked better.
Never looked better. And every time we got overhead shots or they were showing the city, walking around outside.
Have you been to Minneapolis?
No, I wish I had. I wish I'd been there. I still could go there.
I have to say, it's not burned to the ground.
No,
like it still exists.
I would love to go there. I've heard great things. But it looked awesome in this movie. And every time we got to see the cityscape, it felt great.
They shot it in like British Columbia, didn't they?
All right. It still looked great. And in my mind, I'm in Minneapolis.
I mean, you give this guy Minneapolis and a narration, and you've got yourself a time.
It's the best.
Dude, imagine if Prince was narrating a movie about Minneapolis.
No, I can't imagine. I can't start thinking about that.
Let's get crazy. Mine is clear as day. When our girl Frankie, she had like the towel around her shoulders or something.
Yes. Uh-huh.
She swung that sucker around, knocking the gun out of her hand.
Yes.
B.A. That's right.
Did you catch that was the first time what she did?
No, it took me a minute.
Yeah.
It took me a second to be like, how? But the math works, guys. The math works.
You tried it?
I sat down.
You tried it.
I said physics ahead and below. It works.
Physics ahead and below.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Not above or behind.
Oh, man. Boom. Knock that gun out of the hand. That is a pro move.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
That's some Kill Bill stuff.
Some Kill Bill.
Never seen the movie.
Stuff. All right.
Never seen the movie. Just imagine.
I didn't really have any
right.
feels in this movie. Like nothing really stood out to me as feels. The
Minneapolis?
coolest, I mean, Minneapolis was in there, but you took it. I didn't want to be that guy.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, I didn't have anything.
Okay, let's take a quick break. We'll be right back here on WKL Dar. Sorry. WKLR, the Bruce.
I'm confused because I got a script and it said WKLR Venus. That's what it said. I'm not. I wouldn't lie to you.
Mine, it was more of a riddle. It said you lay them on concrete, and I said the brick. So you lay them with concrete.
So it said WKLR. You lay them with concrete.
Yeah.
And so
yeah,
you
yeah.
took it.
Yeah, with cement. It's not concrete. Let me check my notes. With cement. Yeah.
So ours are airtight. You said the Bruce.
The Bruce.
The
I thought you
Bruce.
said the Bruce. No,
the Bruce.
The Bruce.
The Bruce.
Okay. The Bruce.
Can you guys remind me, like, at next show prep, we have to
gotta
talk
go.
through this.
I just assume they're the same on all of them.
Because this is getting frustrating for me.
Okay.
Because clearly I have said, just let me take it. You're clearly not going to let me take
It
it.
says in unison WKLR Venus. I don't know what you want from me.
It's time for the Wait What part of the show, so we talk about what in this movie made us go, wait, what? Brian?
So the police chief, the police pup chief.
Police pup.
His wife is arrested for murder.
What would you say? Is he Chase? Is he
The other ones aren't police.
Marshall? I know, but they're still good.
Pretend
good
they're all in
boys.
the force. Yeah, he's got to be Chase. He's on the
Okay.
case, right? Well, that's part of the way. What he wasn't on the case. He left. He resigned.
Yes,
he
he did.
resigned. Instead of you take a leave, obviously a paid leave of absence. You let the trial play out, but he just resigned. He quit. I thought that I was like,
Can
stick
we talk about
around.
how good the fall leaves look behind you?
they look fantastic,
They do look great.
Yeah.
They look really good.
especially
it's a good
on
look.
that poster.
Yeah.
Man.
Shotgun the Melly.
And a PI she drives a giant truck.
Yeah.
That everybody would know who she is.
In Minneapolis, that's the only truck like that, you think?
So, I mean, come on. That's a rookie PI. Well, it is her first year as a PI, so she'll learn. She'll have to switch up vehicles. And my last one here, I thought it was weird they kept calling the mother, the Megan, she kept calling her Megan Quinn. She kept using her last name. They never switched over to like the maiden name or some other name. She was Megan Quinn right to the end of the movie, and I just thought
That is weird.
strange.
Yeah.
You'd think that you'd want to take your name back.
Yeah.
That's right.
Or she
Take
wouldn't want her
back
to,
the Quinn name.
Yeah,
Take
take
back
it
the Quinn name.
Get it off.
Yeah, it's
her.
our name. We'll take it from you.
Take that right away.
You weren't born in the Quinn family. We can take it from you.
Yeah.
I only had one.
Wow.
Okay. So we get these letters, and they're looking at the handwriting, or I don't remember exactly what happened here, but he says to her when talking about like what had happened back then and like how she didn't really know exactly what was going on, he says, "You must have fantasized about this for years." And it had only been 1 year.
Yeah, that's tough. That's tough right there.
So not knowing why the breakup actually happened, he says, "You must have fantasized about this for a year." And I say, impossible. You must have fantasized about this for a year.
For a year.
For a year.
For a year and month. Because it had been 1 year and a month. Dan?
Yeah, I've got three, but they're all pretty big in my opinion.
Oh, wow.
The first is this is one of those detective movies where the detectives themselves argue repeatedly that their personal involvement with the case is the reason it's a good idea for them to keep working it, which is fascinating because not only is that the polar opposite of reality, but also in almost every one of these things you watch, it's like, I'm too close to the case, I have to leave. The dad leaves. Yeah. These two people are both completely, there's a lot of intertwination here.
Yes. Yeah.
And
You
their
used that
argument
correctly.
throughout the movie is, because I'm so close to it, I should continue to pursue it without any oversight or accountability. I would argue that is real bad policing, detective work, and just bad in general. I don't think you can do that. Can I introduce you to a hotel worker that should be fired on the spot? Wynn shows up to check into the hotel. Wynn.
The desk.
What do you mean? Like when? When does he do that?
Wynn. He does it in the evening. Wynn does.
I got it.
Wynn shows up and he says, I'd like to check into the room. And she gets his ID and she goes, "Oh, you're the second person from this city that's checked in here." "Okay, lady, first of all, we don't typically give out private information of guests." And he then says, "Is it Frankie Quinn?" And she goes, "Yes, it is." "You can't do that, lady. You're double fired." And then she says this, "The room next to hers is open. Do you want it? And he goes, yes, please. What in the world? This woman is the worst employee on the planet.
Just so friendly up there.
Hey, somebody from your city's here. Yes, that is her name. She is staying at this hotel. Here's her room number. Do you want to stay next to her?
This is convenient because I came here actually to kill her. So
Exactly.
this is actually super helpful for me.
It works out really well for me. You saved me a lot of groundwork. Thank you so much, hotel lady that's not doing your job.
Do you want her key as well? Like, do you guys,
yeah. It's a conjoined room.
so you could actually just pop that boy right over. You just slide right in. Because you guys are from the same town.
Adjoining rooms. I know what it is. Lastly, Christopher Bell, a guy in this movie who is like a red herring throughout the movie because he's like messing with security systems and stuff. You briefly see his Facebook page. And in his Facebook page, you have your profile picture in a circle. Then you have your cover photo up here.
Sure.
Then his first Facebook status is a status of his cover photo. It's a golf course, and he says, I wish I was still here. Yeah. And that is just not how that works at all. Your cover photo just never...
Not correct.
Really?
So when you update your cover photo, at least this is how it worked last time I updated my cover photo.
I looked on the app before I did this bit.
But update your cover photo.
Okay.
It'll post it as a status.
You're right.
That you updated your cover photo.
I just did this. You're
but
right.
it doesn't... on the thing, it doesn't have the picture. It doesn't say he updated his cover photo with a status. It just has the cover photo in the profile, and then it just says the thing below it in his newsfeed.
So it doesn't like have the picture right
No, it just says, I wish I was here, with nothing else linking it at all.
Okay, well.
So, there you
Movie
have it.
magic.
Movie magic. We did it, everybody. Congratulations. What a wonderful day it's been.
What a wonderful
Do
day.
the, what the Hallmark?
No.
We didn't. We don't do that with these.
No, we do.
We do.
Yeah.
And we
It's
did
time
not
for What
do
the
it.
Hallmark.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I'll start it off if you don't mind.
I'll allow it.
So, mine, I was just wondering. So Megan had Sally, her child, right?
Yes.
They were in the same town. I assume she gave her up for adoption. We assume, right? They didn't.
Yes.
They didn't
Yes.
touch that. So they were in the same town. That can't be. That can't happen often, right? I mean,
What do you mean?
like I would assume if you're giving, I don't know. It just feels like.
Sorry.
It's just attacking
I mean,
these
to
pumpkins.
kick the pumpkin towards
Kick
you.
the pumpkin. I would just assume that they would be in different locations. Somehow they would get spread out over time. But I guess that's not the big one. The big one question I had was, does she know who the father is, and is he ever going to come into the picture?
Ooh,
if they
that is
keep
a good
doing
one.
this?
That's a good one.
Thank you.
I want to know if now that they're back together, does Frankie have any interest in rejoining the Force, or is she enjoying pie life?
Pie life. That's right.
It is the pie life.
Mine could be easily answered. During the murder scene at the beginning of this movie, does the power, because they make this big deal about how the power's off so there's no security cameras, but when he walks back in, he turns the lights on and they work. And then you see the guy with the girl with the knife. If the point was for the security cameras to not be on, then when did the power go off? When did it go off? Because when Mallory
Wynn
Jansen
wasn't
comes
involved in this part.
So what?
Wynn wasn't involved in this
No,
part.
he was not. When
Wynn.
I see what you did there.
Wait, so give it to me one more time.
So at the beginning of this movie,
Okay, yes.
Carl walks in
He does.
after they do the whole background.
Got it.
He turns the lights on. The lights come on specifically. Then we see that picture of the knife and him in the background. Maybe the lights were back off in that picture. I don't remember. But then clearly he's murdered. Well, when Mallory Jansen comes back to find him, the lights are off. Someone has turned that switch back off because it's back down, even though he turned it on and then got murdered. She tries to turn it on and it doesn't work. And then they go through this whole thing of explaining how somebody cut the power so you couldn't see the security cameras. When did that happen?
But bro, isn't it right before he gets murdered? Don't we see the lights go?
Okay, so my thing is right before he gets murdered, the murderer is already in the building on security camera. So wouldn't you turn the power off way before?
You would think
Sure.
so, yeah.
Right?
Sure.
So in
I
this
would.
case,
Not that I ever would, but
none of us would
Right.
actually murder. But if you
for
were
murder.
planning something like that,
Yeah.
wouldn't those be off a long time in advance so you're not caught anywhere on camera?
It depends. Can I get a room next to the person I'm getting ready to kill or
Well,
not?
if you
joined
got
rooms?
this one this one hotel worker, you certainly may.
Yeah. We did, everybody. Congratulations. What a wonderful day it's been. I hope that you guys all enjoy a nice fall weekend. I hope that it's full of fall fun and pumpkin spice.
I second that.
And dreams, because tomorrow's October 1st. Live it up, everybody. We'll be back on Monday. Until then, maybe the first to wish you a Merry Christmas.
Deck the Hallmark is the That Sounds Fun podcast. It's produced by Tracy Nillis' name. It's recorded live in Greenville, South Carolina. For more information on Deck the Hallmark, you can go to deckthehallmark.com.